Acquiring talents will be one of the main ways we upgrade and level up our character in Hogwarts Legacy. We can purchase these talents using talent points that we receive each time we level up. Before you can spend these points, you first have to reach the map chamber, which happens after about 5 or so hours in game. The talent system is split into 5 sections, being spells, dark arts, core, stealth, and room of requirement. Now there is no respec in Hogwarts Legacy, so once you've spent your talent points, there is no way to get them back and reallocate them. This is definitely something to consider because there isn't enough points to get every single talent, so you will have to carefully pick and choose what type of wizard you want to be. For example, whether or not you're going to lean into the dark arts or focus on stealth gameplay. I'm going to jump straight into some things that you definitely need to know before spending your talent points, as well as which specific talents are the best. But first, if you could smash the like button, that would be awesome, as it helps these videos out a ton. With that out the way, I'd highly recommend spending majority of your early talent points in the core section. These will help you in all aspects of the game, from combat and ancient magic to general quality of life improvements. The very first thing I would buy is the Spell Knowledge 1 and or 2. This enables you to add a backup spell set that can be easily swapped to by holding R2 and pressing on the directional buttons on the D-pad. This allows you to allocate certain sets to specific situations in game. For instance, one set could be for combat using damage, force, and control spells, whereas another can be used for utility spells such as Lumos and Reparo. It will save you a lot of time and effort from having to constantly go into your spell menu and swap and change them, and it is a must-have for your playthrough. This is a perfect time to break down how the skill trees within each section work. They are split up into 3 different tiers, with the first one being unlocked at level 5, the second at level 16, and the final upgrades being available at level 22. Revelio Mastery is one of these talents that you can unlock at level 16. This will increase the range of your Revelio spell, allowing you to scan over a larger area to improve your ability to find chests, collectibles, and field guide pages. Considering the fact that the Revelio spell will arguably be the most used spell we have, this upgrade is at the top of the list and will help you as you navigate and explore the open world. Another core talent that is a must grab is Basic Cast Mastery. This will reduce the cooldown of slotted spells when using the basic cast, as spells within our spell diamond will be the ones that inflict the most damage and stun our opponents. The ability to use them more frequently will enhance our ability in combat tenfold. This also works great when using spell combos, such as using Levioso to lift someone off the ground and hitting them with a few basic casts to reduce cooldown. Then you can pull them in with Accio and burn them with Incendio. Some other useful spells to note in the core section is the Wiggenweld Potency 1 and 2, which allows you to regain more health when using a Wiggenweld potion. The Swift upgrade also allows you to quickly vanish and reappear in a spectral dash. You can do this by holding down the dodge button. It can be extremely useful in combat, but honestly it just looks sick. Once you hit level 22, I would encourage you to get the Stupefy Expertise talent, which enables the Stupefy spell to inflict damage on impact instead of just stunning the enemy. The next suggestion after tackling the core talents would be to go into the spells section. Here you can earn upgrades for different spells in game. They are all pretty useful, and which ones you purchase are almost preference based, depending on what spells you use the most. Personally, I don't think you can go wrong with the Accio, Levioso, and Incendio masteries. Both Accio and Levioso allow you to target multiple enemies, meaning you can elevate or pull 2 or 3 in a single use of the spell. The Defindo mastery is also a favourite of mine, as it allows you to slice through additional enemies, and combining this with the Glacier spell can cause some serious damage. I know it's going to be a favourite, so I'll quickly go through the Dark Art section. Essentially, you won't learn any unforgivable curses until you're about halfway through the game, with Crucio and Imperio being available at around level 17 to 18, whereas the Killing Curse comes later on at level 27. But there are still a few talents in here that can be useful despite not knowing any unforgivable curses. If you choose to purchase the Disarming and Stunning Curse talents, you will be able to inflict the curse effect onto enemies using spells such as Expelliarmus and Stupefy. When an enemy is inflicted with a curse, they will take increased damage from all spells. You can tell an enemy is cursed because they will have this green cross over them. There are talents for increasing the amount of time that an enemy remains cursed, as well as ones which restore part of your health when killing an enemy inflicted by a curse. If If you are wanting to become a dark witch or wizard, then these talents are must-haves, but I'd urge you to wait until you've unlocked some unforgivable curses before spending most of your points here. Truthfully, the most overpowered talents will come after learning these spells. Two of these are the Crucio Mastery, where striking an enemy cursed by Crucio will release a projectile that curses surrounding enemies. Combining this with Avada Kedavra Mastery, which instantly kills all cursed enemies, is the ultimate crowd control combo, where you can take out hordes of enemies in a single blow. But look, if the dark arts aren't for you, then becoming a stealthy witch or wizard might just be the play. There are only 4 talents in this section, and most of them are actually quite useful. There are 2 Sense of Secrecy talents, which reduce the enemy's ability to detect you while using the Disillusionment charm. This will help when sneaking in and around various bandit or poacher camps, so that you can take out the enemies one by one. I'd recommend picking up at least one of these, as there is a few stealth sections in the game, and the ability to one-shot enemies whilst invisible can sometimes be borderline OP. The Human Demiguise talent allows you to sprint while using Disillusionment, which is more so a quality of life upgrade, but a useful one no doubt. And finally is the Petrificus Totalis Mastery, which allows you to take out multiple enemies near each other when using the spell. I probably wouldn't recommend this one, as most of the time they will probably be spread out around the camp, and typically when there are 2 enemies side by side, you can take them both out separately without being spotted. The final section is the Room of Requirement, and honestly I already know that this area will be untouched by most people, but depending on your playstyle there can be some serious hidden gems in here. All the talents in here are connected to either potions or plants, such as the Eudurus potion, which at first decreases the amount of damage you take, but if you can get the potency talent for it, you'll become invulnerable whilst this potion is in effect, and all projectiles will be deflected back at enemies. This paired with the Maxima potion potency, which increases the damage you deal, can make you extremely overpowered for a period of time, and might even save your life. If you're into herbology, then there's also a handful of talents in this section that increase the damage and strength of plants in combat. But look, if you want to get the best start in Hogwarts Legacy, or even learn a few new tips and tricks, then click this video here, where I go through a few things I wish I knew earlier in my playthrough. I'll see you guys in the next video, and of course, take care.